For a while now, we've all been chatting with AI. We ask it questions, it gives us answers. But what if it could be more than just a conversation partner? Well, today we're going to explore that next big leap, turning your AI into an agent that stops just talking and starts doing things for you.
All right, let's dive right in. Here's the game plan. We'll kick things off by figuring out what an AI agent even is. Then, we'll peek under the hood to see how it thinks. After that, we'll check out some real-world examples, get you set up with free tools, cover the super important safety rules, and then we'll build your very first automated workflow together.
So first things first, let's really get our heads around this huge shift. We're talking about moving from just getting answers to actually getting things done. It's a whole new ballgame, way beyond a simple chat.
I mean, we're all used to that back and forth, right? Asking an AI to write an email or explain something. But the real game changer is when you can give the AI a high-level goal, something like plan my upcoming business trip, and it just figures out all the steps and starts executing them on its own.
And this right here is the most important difference. Think of a chatbot like a brilliant encyclopedia. It knows everything, it can answer any question you throw at it. But an AI agent, that's more like a really capable intern. You don't give it a list of detailed instructions, you just give it a goal, and it figures out how to make it happen.
So, how in the world does an AI actually figure all that out? Let's pull back the curtain a little bit. It all comes down to this really simple but incredibly powerful process that lets it work all by itself.
At the very heart of how an agent thinks is this thing called the ReAct loop. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It stands for reason and act. It's basically the mental engine that lets an agent think through a problem, take an action, see what happens, learn from it, and then do it all over again. It's not a one-and-done answer. It's this continuous cycle of trying and improving.
This breaks it down perfectly. Just follow the flow. It starts with perceive. It has to understand what you want. Then it moves on to plan, where it maps out a sequence of steps. Next, it acts, maybe using a tool like a web browser to get something done. And finally, and this is the magic part, it observes the outcome. Did it work? What happened? And based on that result, it loops right back around to replan and act again until your goal is complete.
Okay, so that's the theory. But let's get to the fun stuff. How does this actually help you in the real world? This is all about automating those practical, annoying tasks that can save you a ton of time and effort, starting right now.
And listen, we are not just talking about simple little tasks. Check out this number, 93.9%. That comes from a recent study where a top-tier AI agent was tested against a benchmark of real-world software bugs from huge projects. The fact that it could autonomously fix nearly 94% of them, that just goes to show you these systems can handle incredibly complex, messy problems with stunning accuracy.
Okay, let's start with a classic pain point for pretty much everyone. Just imagine an agent that could finally wrestle your inbox into submission for you every single morning before you even pour your first cup of coffee. It can handle that whole morning email triage. It can sort new messages into the right folders, draft replies to all those repetitive questions you get rid of the junk, and then just serve you up a neat little summary of the few emails that actually need your brain power.
All right, how about this one? Instead of you spending hours and hours digging for information, an agent can do that research for you on an ongoing basis, keeping you totally up to date without you ever lifting a finger.
Think about it. You could just set it loose on a topic. It could go scan dozens of articles, research papers, and websites, cross-reference everything to check for accuracy, and then bring it all back to you in a single easy-to-read report. Your job, just shift it from researcher to editor.
So you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually start? Well, the best news is that it's way easier than you think. You don't need to be a coder, and you definitely don't need to spend any money to start playing around with this stuff. These 3 tools are your perfect free entry point. If you have tasks that need a consistent set of rules, Claude's Projects feature is fantastic for that. For those quick, one-off research projects that need to browse the web, ChatGPT is perfect. And if you want to hook up AI to the apps you already use every day, like your email or your calendar, Zapier lets you build those connections with zero code.
Okay, now this part is really important. Before we go handing an AI the keys to our digital kingdom, it is absolutely crucial that we know how to test these new powers safely. A little bit of caution now will save you a lot of headaches later.
If you just follow these 3 simple rules, you can experiment with total confidence. First, start in read-only mode. Let the agent draft that email, sure, but don't give it permission to actually hit send.
Second, always keep a human in the loop. That's you. For any big, important action, make sure it requires your final okay. And third, limit its access, what some people call the blast radius. Only give the agent permission to the one folder or the one app it needs, and nothing else. That way, you're always in control.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Even the companies building these incredibly powerful tools, like Anthropic, are all about this cautious approach. Their official guidance for developers is to design agents that, when in doubt, do less and ask for confirmation.
All right, time to put all this together. Let's do a really simple, practical walkthrough that you can follow along with in the next 5 minutes to set up your very first agentic workflow.
So our goal here is pretty simple. We're going to create a reusable workspace inside of Claude that can automate a common research and writing task from beginning to end.
Okay, here's exactly how you do it. First, you're going to create a new project in Claude. Now, inside that project, you're going to create one special little file called claude.md. Just think of this file as a permanent instruction manual for your agent. You can write rules in it like, always ask me clarifying questions before you start, or always write in a professional but friendly tone. Every single time you use this project, Claude will read that file first and adopt the exact persona and rules you gave it.
Once that instruction file is saved, you're all set. You can now just give it a high-level goal. For instance, research the current state of AI agents and draft a brief summary for a non-technical audience. And then you just get to watch as it follows your rules, ask those clarifying questions you told it to, and gets to work. It's pretty cool.
And really, that's just your starting point. This explainer is just the beginning. The real power, the real magic, unlocks when you start thinking about your own repetitive, tedious tasks and realize, hey, I can build a little intern to handle that for me now. So the only question left is, what are you going to automate first?